Hi, everybody. We're here.
Happy Sunday. Rose Blue. Yeah, I seen your post. Just looking here quick.
Yeah, poor Rose. Rose showed up this morning. Sorry about that, girl. We weren't here.
Yeah, my Christmases and family gatherings are over, so we should be back on schedule unless emergency comes up.
See, you need more readers like me that don't have family that insists there be places.
Oh, so you put down 5 cards for each day this week?
I'll push a card. I'll put out 5 cards: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
And
We'll
I
just start
actually
with that.
added Saturday because I made it easier.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show them.
Hey, Jeff, no problem. I noticed I was actually listening to Arthur a little bit before I got on, so.
Arthur.
Yeah, another reader.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember his complete channel name, but named Arthur. Anyway, 6 cards, day per week, please. Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of chaos, normalcy, whatever we can find. Please tell me. Okay. Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I got Saturday too. I put Saturday in there too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You guys there? Okay.
Okay, what's your Monday look like?
Monday, 2 of Wands.
Ooh.
That's kind of a cooperation card.
Yeah, I got the 9 of Ariel. It's your dreams are being fulfilled. Hard work is being paid off, leading to beautiful new things to come. It's Monday. What's your Tuesday?
Tuesday, there's some kind of judgment coming on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's going on with this? I'm thinking some people are going to be getting some backlash about something.
Working well together to solve a competitive matter. Okay, Wednesday's the big day. What you got?
Wednesday, I got 2 of coins, so deal making.
Yep, I got 6 of Michael. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe in the light, and with a sigh of relief for new plans, relocation, someone moving from a difficult place to an easier place.
Okay.
6 of Swords. But your Thursday, that's the day that got me.
Thursday, I got some raids going on.
What?
Knight of Swords.
Oh, okay.
That's my law enforcement card.
Mm-hmm. That's swift movement.
Swift movement, some kind of raids or some kind of legal action, something comes down Thursday.
That's the day we're the closest. I got the Wheel of Fortune. New beginnings, the end of delays, a change of direction that offers many happiness. Friday.
I got Chariot.
Mm-hmm.
Something of importance comes charging in. Very valid. Could be movement. Some sorts of high value.
And I've got the 2 of Gabriel. Make bold and ambitious decisions. Guided progress is possible at this time. Important relationships and people who share much in common. And what's your Saturday? This is why I threw the Saturday.
Kristen wants us to go back to Wednesday. She missed it.
Wednesday,
I got deal making with 2 of coins for Wednesday.
Right. And I got what's the equivalent of the 6 of Swords, which is moving on from a difficult place to a place with more light.
Yeah, so we may have agreement. So maybe this January 6th, they may go on for a while or something, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said Saturday we got left?
Yep.
I got the Victorious card of 6 of Wands coming in.
I got the Emperor. Stability and efficiency, taking charge of the situation, ambitious new plans. I haven't had that strong a week when I've pulled a week of cards in a long time.
Yeah, my overall is that there's some deals being made,
Yeah,
possible arrests or raids or
and disclosing to people where they are.
judgment upon someone.
Mhm.
But tomorrow feels like a deal making day or some kind of cooperation.
I feel like if something huge happens, it's not going to be. Everybody thinks everything's going to blow up, and I don't think that's going to happen.
You mean tomorrow?
No, if a whole lot of stuff's uncovered, everybody thinks there's going to be like a January 6th thing again, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see violence as far as that goes.
No, I see a lot of people being displaced and having what they thought was going to happen change. Now that's a two-edged sword, which people are having their views changed, you know.
But yeah, I just seen before we came on that DC's a state of winter emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So schools are closed and whatnot, and asking people to stay home. Was there a question about J6? No.
No. There was nothing. I was just sitting talking to my guides who were talking to me about some other changes I'm making within the modalities that I work. And they just said, you need to lay out the coming week so people can, because everybody wants us to project so far out, Scott. And for one, if people haven't learned anything at all, they've learned that we can't be their social conscience. We can tell them what we see, but what's going to happen, our cards don't really control, and it doesn't mean the things behind our cards don't control it. They're just maybe stuff they don't want us to see.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we all wish we could be correct. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, a lot of us have been teetering on what the actual happenings have had. So
all I can tell you is what I can see with my cards. This is why I use cards, guys, because this is why I don't channel and stuff often. But the elementals did make it in the 21st on solstice. The ley lines did lock in place, and they're starting to emerge. And their energy will be felt on the earth. And the elementals are a product of Mother Earth. They're Gaia's children. When I've met with them, they've told me we're Gaia's children. So they have some of the same black and white that we have, you know. And, so that's kind of where they are. And it was actually a couple of them that were talking to me about looking at the days that way. And they said, when you project things out, you put too much of your own intellect in it. You just need to look at what's happening that day and see what you can live with. So what'd you get? Am I reading on January 6th certification?
Yeah. What's your energy and feeling of what's going to happen tomorrow at certification?
Actually, I have no feeling whatsoever. I felt like the speaker vote was going to end up being a show where we're going to get to see who's who and what's what. And Republicans have left themselves several ways out of dealing with him, just like they did with McCarthy eventually. Problem is they just don't have AHs like Matt Gaetz to hold it out to 15 votes.
Yeah.
And so January 6th certification. Okay.
Kind of difficult. So this is it's kind of the past position here. So I'm doing my past, present, future. But this feels like more of the now. There is some dark things. So I get this is one of my mid arcana cards. So there's some darkness going on right now. Some things maybe not known. It's spirits too. So it's kind of like things, talked about that are unknown.
Mhm.
Spirits kind of hide in the shadows, whatnot. Then I get Ace of Coins, which is prosperity and security. And then the Knight of Coins. So that feels like the hard work that goes in. So I think there's been hard work done behind the scenes
Mhm.
of some kind of security.
Right.
Okay. The bottom of the deck, I'll show you. It's my Joe Biden card.
Mhm.
So he's involved somehow. Because
I would hope so, since it's
I mean, technically he's not involved in January 6th,
no, he's not.
So coming upon January 6th, I got some kind of protection,
Mhm.
some universal love. This is another my mid-major arcana cards, but it's about goodness. It is a universal mystery card too, my aliens,
Mhm.
but this one's more about goodness. And then I get my Star Empress card, fertility, abundance, having hope.
Mhm.
And then Chariot, there's some kind of action that goes on. The goodness takes charge on tomorrow.
Mhm.
And then the outcome, this could be certification or documents. I'm feeling more documents. So this is my document card. It's all about documents. And then my 7-8 of cups. So it's either illusion, delusion, or walking away. I don't feel that. As far as delusions, it feels like leaving what's happened behind. And then here comes in a delay card, the Hermit. So this card is I combine three. It's Hermit, Fool, and like the Hangman. I combine those three into kind of one.
Mhm.
So it feels like there's a stagnation, delay of something. I think it sure feels like with this toss that there's something going on.
Mhm.
That the good side is going to take charge in some way. And then be a delay or have to walk away from something in the past. Let's see what you see.
What I see is they're still holding on. There's a little 4 coins guy holding on, but there really are Republicans that are ready to let go of this pagan crap they're carrying around, and I feel that's them. It's not the Dems that want to dump this bag of wands. This is the card that's in the middle, the devil.
Well, we know the devil is.
And then the out card is the hangman who's laid there silently and hasn't said anything is going to come out and speak. And there's no more waffling. There's no more, oh, it could be this way, it could be that way. There's going to be decisions are going to come out. And when I had the final card on the next week's thing is the Emperor, that's going to be what we get. I mean, we're going to get, hopefully it's not hopefully, just think that it is in terms of the leadership we understand that we need. I've been watching a lot of quantum physics because I have such a fun life. And and one of the things they've been talking about is that so many people just were so focused on how the evil that could come in that they didn't pay attention to the fact that every time you bring that thought into your consciousness, thoughts become reality. And we need to focus on getting the right things said, looking at the right images, thinking about the right people, being in the right place. Yes, I agree. Joe's in such a hurry. I got my Social Security check deposited to my account a week early. Showed up last night. What? And I don't know if they send out everybody's just in case. Yeah. Did you like my thumbnail? That thumbnail of the trees in the snow is from Finland.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's not. Texas has never looked like that. That was not taken from my front door.
poor Kristen says could get up to 12 inches of snow in Indiana.
Well, I know I went to bed last night. It was 68. I was telling Scott when I came on, I can see the temperature on my screen. It's 34, so it's halved in 24 hours.
So yeah, the snow is missing up. It's all in the middle of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
It's just chilly.
That's why I left Chicago. It was a blizzard, and I had to jump out the wrong side of our house and climb around to the front door and dig out the front door, which had been blown in by a blizzard. And I was sitting there. It was this weekend. You have to choose where you go to college if you have early acceptance. And I had a school in Indiana. I had a school in Massachusetts. I had a school in California, but my father had already told me I couldn't go to California because the communists were fighting against the Vietnam War there. So he had visited SMU, and he said, I really like that school, and they accepted you. And I sat down when I came in and thought, I bet you if I go to Texas, I will never have to dig out my front door. No, now I didn't realize we'd have such a government that I'd be digging out big brown clouds of stuff, but that's on my front door. But yeah. I've never had to dig my house out from a snowstorm.
So yeah, Rose put in there, some of those mentioned about the National Archives. There's 21 states that they haven't put on their website that these states are certified. So what is Spirit saying is, why is this omitted?
Why? I can tell you one of the reasons Texas is doing a lot of stuff it's doing is Texas wants to become its own state. It's forming its own stock market. It's doing a lot of, yeah, I know. Well, I wouldn't put my money in them any more than I would in the other one, but I'm just saying that the Texas wants to be able to dive out. Now, if Texas leaves the union, we get so much more money from the federal government than we ever give out to the federal government. It's going to break the state. So that's another show, guys. I'll do how screwed this state is once I figure out how the government is.
So I can't remember who put it on. I did see there's some YouTuber that doesn't have many videos, but he did an explanation of this Russian tail hack of Trump's 60%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like everything's normal for a while until the end. And all of a sudden there's a tail or a mountain that goes up where there's a big dump of Trump votes.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happens in the Russian election to elect Putin.
So that's what happened in Romania. That's what's happened in some of the other states where they're extremely suspicious. So
let's go back to the 21. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Okay. Is there anything? That's my question. I'm thinking, is there anything to the mission at the National Archives? Is there anything to the admission? Oh, someone mentioned about how many swing states. I think there were 6 swing states.
Yeah, well,
that were admitted on that 21. Okay. What is up with it? Tell me. 6 swing states. I hope it's a surprise because they're just the guides are just so quiet on most things. It's like they're not talking. Either I get a hit or ask for something. Okay. I'd come up with justice. My dark times comes up again, some warnings. And then the 7 of Cups. So that's weird.
Illusion and delusion, whatever they think they're doing.
Illusion of justice, but of dark times.
Oh, I got what it is. My reading is, what do you got?
I got more. So then currently we're in a holding pattern with the Hermit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the Moon and Strength.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Strength is what's supposed to be done. We're talking about what's usually done, punching in the certification. Strength is the law, but there's some secret dealings here and a delay in thoughts and what we should do. In the end, again, I get President Biden, Wheel of Fortune, and then the end, a death,
Okay.
a recycling. It feels like either a hint or a clue of what's coming on.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like to me this was omitted. I mean, to me, it feels like they're certified, right? But it feels like a clue. We've been getting clues of everything's not normal. Hence, with delusion, you know, ever since this election, there's been little drops from Jeffries to whoever, right? So it feels like another clue. And it's a mystery because I get the Moon.
I don't like this Netflix series. I don't like this Netflix series.
We're supposed to figure it out, but I got Biden doing something again in another reading. The Strength card to me is like the law, the Constitution, the way it's supposed to be, right? Something's going on. This is not straightforward.
No, what I got is there's no clear goals here. The people started to do it and stopped, didn't finish it enough. It's trying to free us. The Eight of Swords reversed. It's trying to free us. But we have the Knight of Coins. It's wait, and they'll give us an answer. And the Moon, but they're all upside down, which means that's what it should be, right side up. But
so these are CC posted the states: California, Florida, Georgia. Florida was suspicious. California may have just been undercounted. Georgia's suspicious. Idaho. Cuomo was never going to win Idaho. Kansas could be suspicious. Kentucky suspicious.
Well, Kansas did vote for Dems, and they have that Democratic senator who's Native American. Isn't that the indigenous?
Well, they voted on the positive for abortion.
And they voted, yeah. Guys, this is giving me a headache. I'm not kidding.
They have had a Democratic governor in the recent past, so some reason they flip deeper red,
but they don't when their people get to vote one-on-one on issues. They're only deeper red when they have to vote in their gerrymandered districts.
West Virginia is odd. I mean, if we were looking at swing states as a whole, so there's red states and normal states, but interesting.
Why would Russia try to interfere in California? California's a safer state cyberly than most. So
true. Okay, there was another question. Where'd that go? Looked at that. Okay, this just kind of goes along with it. In the background, is our government, the good guys, the three-letter agencies, whatever, actively seeking justice?
Okay.
You
mean our outside international forces seeking justice for us?
Yeah. Okay. You want to go international or just?
Well, if you're going to NATO, you're not in the United Nations is international.
I think we have to separate that.
Okay.
Let's just do United States agencies and then.
You mean are there domestic forces working? Yeah. Okay.
Because someone else asked about NATO or something, or Mark Rutte with NATO chief or something. Let's just separate it.
That guy's name makes me nuts. His name is one letter different than my maiden name. And I have a brother named Mark. And every time I see it, I go, what's that little brat up to? And he is not a diplomat. He was a surgeon.
Okay. Are our government agencies seeking justice from election interference?
Oh, God, I keep getting the same damn cards. Let's see what this is.
Okay. Okay. In the past, I get our agencies where I got two cards of kind of waiting and seeing what happens. The Four of Cups and the Hangman, but it's in the middle outside the Wheel of Fortune. So two cards that tensely like taking a pause, looking at things, checking things out. But the Wheel of Fortune is making a change. Okay? So I think it feels like they wanted to let things play out and see how it goes. Then I get in the current energy, the Fool, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Star. So the Fool is kind of like, taking a leap of faith, trying to do the right thing. Knight of Pentacles, taking your time, finding the information. The Star, they found what they needed to find.
Right.
Okay. Moving forward, because we're already here. Seven of Pentacles, doing the hard work, finding the information. Three of Swords, and then the Hierophant. I think they found what they needed to find. There was interference. They're heartbroken about it. They're hoping not. But I think they found what they needed to find. Outcome. Knight of Swords. That's my FBI card. Taking quick action, but it's wait a minute. Sorry. It's the King of Swords. I looked at it wrong. King of Swords. Okay, we got the prosecutor. We got the prosecutor taking charge. 10 of Swords. A bunch of people getting stabbed in the back. Taking down the Emperor. The Thief. 7 of Swords. The Emperor cheated, and there's a prosecutor taking him down. So it looks like our agencies have.
Yeah, I got that. They really start out Ace of Wands, really start out ready to look, but they weren't ready to, they didn't walk in with preconceived notions. They wanted to kind of hold on to whatever was going on. And the more they looked, the more despair they had. They saw a lot of what they were walking towards. They couldn't get the right answer for. They got the Nine of Swords. I personally think this is the ugliest card in the deck, the Nine of Swords, because it's like nothing's getting resolved.
Nothing's good.
And then what I saw right now is they're ready to move. They got the Three of Wands because what's done is done. They know what happened and they know what the outcome was going to be. And then I've got, but this is very, well, it's on, I read right side up, even if it's upside down. So it's not as good as it could be, but they're not ready to complete it yet. For some reason, and guys, you ain't got a lot of time.
No, we're here now, people.
And I see that to restore us back to the Empress, to calmness, to having all of what we really need, it's going to take the Knight of Cups, and that's Knight of Cups is not it's not a real active force, masculine force, but it's one that can deliver the truth fairly, I think, is what I'm reading in this. But he wants to help usher in the Empress, but he's got that weird sun thing. the weird sun and the world upside down. And see, whenever I read it, I get a really great card and I go, yay. And then I get a really crappy card and I go, boo. I'm tired of cheerleading this way, guys.
Okay, I'm tossing now on if our international allies are helping us seek justice.
Okay, let me.
And of course, we know what that means about.
Means they're going after Putin.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. In the past, Ace of Cups. So I think there's love and shared ideas between our countries. Three of Swords. We got a bad situation that happened. I think it has to do a lot with Russia and the Ukraine here. And then the Page of Wands. So I think this passing has to do with a new player. New player in the situation is probably Mr. Elon. It doesn't feel like a young person. It just feels like a new player. Page of Wands is a messenger, a new player up top.
Elon's not new. History books are full of Elon Musks.
But a new player to ruining democracy. Hey, Ursula. Okay. In the current, 5 of coins. So we have some losses there. Possible election interference stuff. Lovers and the Hermit. That Hermit again. That's about taking time and making sure things right. Finding the universal right way to do things.
Right.
So
I don't feel the time that we have all much time to sit around and be zen about this.
I know. Okay, moving forward. Ace of Pentacles, prosperity. 2 of Cups, continued cooperation. And 2 of Swords. That's still talking about what avenue to take. I mean, there's a lot of cooperation cards and lovers, and but the 2 of Swords is like, well, we don't know which way we're going to take yet. My outcome is King of Cups. 3rd reading in a row, I get a King of Cups. 8 of Swords, restriction. The World, 9 of Pentacles. That would mean to me is that world is cooperation around, 9 of Pentacles is sharing information, having balance, but the 8 of Swords is saying, no, it's not, or Joe may have blocked something. There's a restriction there. And I don't think that's the cooperation needed at the time, or NATO isn't involved in our elections. We need to take care of our own crap as far as that goes.
No, they're going to take care of us because it's going to take care of them.
Well, true, but I mean, it's on the bottom of the deck. I had the Knight of Swords, so here that's kind of like a NATO, everyone coming together. Like I said, it would be a yes if it wasn't for the 8 of Swords for me, as far as NATO.
Well, they're locked into certain restrictions about what they can go in and do in other countries too,
Right.
So
I don't think, there is cooperation. I'm getting a lot of cooperation there, right? There's intel flowing and whatnot, but it's kind of like Romania. We didn't come storming in, or NATO didn't come storming in to save their election. They took care of themselves. They're redoing it in March. It's something we need to take care of.
That's right.
So
what I got from them is they're looking at the money, what it's going to cost, the Ace of Pentacles. And right now they're walking away from what they think they could do for the U.S. They are using all of the things they can to help us build our defenses. And I love this deck because the way they're building defenses is talking into microphones. And they're not putting on their heaviest hitters on doing this. But what I see is they still have not come to an agreement among themselves. So I don't know. I mean, they know what needs to be done. They're seeing it more clearly than we.
Oh yeah, definitely. Our relationships would definitely be better under a Democrat president than what may happen. But the warnings were already there. And it's like, oh, I don't care what you do. NATO's going to stick together. You can.
Hell, we had the Russians down to the keystrokes, and that all got stopped by Trump in the Mueller report. And okay, guys, I'm going to go back on my little high horse for a minute. We keep looking for a Jack Smith or a Mueller or someone to ride in and save us. And at the end of the day, it has to be our own consciousness that saves us. And we have to be clear that we got to quit thinking a strong man's going to come in and change everything. Because right now, the way the trajectory is, a strong man's going to come in and change things. We need to get a strong, honorable person to work on it and to think of it in those terms.
Okay. You got a question on your community page, which was, Joe went to Camp David recently on January 1st. What was the purpose? Well, he signed a bunch of laws, actions. Camp David is kind of a retreat, but it feels like it's also a private brainstorming session.
It's a place where people can be brought in privately that you and I can't see. It's a little hard when the press is standing on the front door of the White House to smuggle someone in for information.
Okay. Probably less eyes. And
people feel less pressure when they're there.
Okay. Let's see if we can get a greater purpose, I guess.
Okay.
Why was Joe? Why was Joe? King of Wands. There's some intelligent people there. Feels like Joint Chiefs or something too. There's some worry. I get my Dark Times card again. So, got high intelligence, King of Wands, high intelligence people, leaders, Knight of Coins, a bunch of people honor, which could be like, what's his name? Secretary of Defense or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of worry about something with my Dark Times card. Wow. There's a lot of worry with these three cards together.
What you get?
6 of Cups, 5 of Coins, and my 3 of Swords multiplied card. This is intensified. It's one of my minor mid arcana, so it's like the disastrous one. Bad karma, broken, heartbreak. 5 of Coins is the struggles, is ruin. And 6 of Cups, it could happen all again. Everything Biden's recovered from disaster before could all happen again. And the reason why. 9 of Coins, so that's my balance card, bringing things the best way forward you can. Queen of Wands, strategy. Queen of Swords. Female energy. It was definitely a strategy session too. I think there's some lawyers there. There could have been some talk about the pardons.
Right.
You know, if people want pardons or have them ready. I don't know. It feels like they're planning ahead just in case.
You know, the problem with pardons is you have to agree you did something wrong. And there are people saying, why won't Fauci take a pardon for anything Trump could charge him with? Well, because in order to accept that pardon, he has to acknowledge that he did something wrong, and he didn't do anything wrong.
True.
So, but
spending millions of dollars on lawyers for nonsense.
That's a crime against humanity. Paying lawyers millions of dollars is no offense to lawyers in the chat. I don't know how all 6 of you that are there. Page ones, I got a feeling it was really the lower staff that said, let's go to this place because they had some decisions to make that they didn't want to make in public. You may be right about pardons and things like that. That kind of talk. There's nobody around that can hear through a keyhole. And the people who really care and are really trying to bring things forward to the proper place were there. And the upside down card is the 4 of Wands. And the 4 of Wands, for those of you who don't know it for a long time, that's been considered the White House card. So I think biggest part of it wasn't at the White House. It gave them privacy.
Mm-hmm. We just looked this up. Biden issued an executive order that
the next president has to come in and say, I won't abide by that. It's not a passive expiration. Someone actively has to seek to have it stopped. I mean, we know the nut job who just pissed off Honduras and said they're going to who wants to throw all of our soldiers out of there. Oh, let's go to war with Honduras. We need another trouble spot.
Yeah. But we were just looking that up, that Biden just signed an order on January 3rd or something.
Yes.
And it was changing the order of attorney general in case something happens to the attorney generals and whatnot. And that original executive order was 2017. So that one was standing until this one now. So they don't expire. They have to be changed. Oops. Yeah, he's been very busy, Kathy D. Gave out a whole bunch of ceremonies, Medal of Freedom awards and whatnot.
And stuff it all in. Make it look like he's really leaving. Let's keep that image up.
Yeah. Everyone's looking like everything's going to be smooth. Or is this a play? Yeah, we're just going through the motions. This is how it's going to play.
And remember, everything was all fine until they figured out, COVID really can kill you. Okay.
True, Ellen.
This crap is happening because of the illegitimate Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned, that we had in the year 2000 that put George Bush in office. So they were at the base of it all in the first place. So don't talk to me about them.
Oh, oops.
What?
There's rumors that Mark Rudy was at Camp David also.
But see, as long as it's in Camp David, who knows? It could be anybody.
AOC for president. Cece wants to know how bad this bird flu is.
Not bad.
Is it going to get worse?
I'm more worried about the norovirus, the thing that's giving everybody 11 days of stomach crap. Literally stomach crap. That was in California. It's been wiping out people and nobody's talking about it.
I guess it's going around in China pretty bad. Grab 4 cards and see what it says, but I don't think it will be either.
I really have not sensed that one was bad. My guides tend to be very careful about things that affect your lungs because they don't want me going anywhere. Because then who do they have to guide? Find that here.
Evelyn, Mark Rudy is the chief of NATO.
Who what?
Evelyn's asking who Mark Rudy is.
He's the chief negotiator for NATO.
The chief negotiator for NATO. Oh, thank you, Zane.
I don't. What country is he from? I don't even know.
Denmark or something, I think.
Oh, it's when you get it bad, but in the end, it's not going to spread like COVID did.
No, I mean, I get good and bad things. There's hidden things to how it may affect different people. When it comes in strong with the Knight of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
But I got Ace of Wands, so that's kind of a protection card. It's good energy. I get the Ten of Cups with this toss, so that's protection. So I don't think it's like a coronavirus thing. It's gonna. But if something would come up with it, like the H1N1 or whatever similarity.
Well, if you're weakened, you're going to get it, and it's like all illnesses. When you get it, you have it 100%. So you don't care what the statistics say.
T. Jones, a flu and norovirus are rampant in Minnesota. Oof.
Yeah, we still have so many people sick from COVID in Texas that they're not. They're out there.
Oh, Rudy's from the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Everyone says a lot of Facebook friends have the stomach virus. Wow. According to Kristen, norovirus has killed about 100 in Indiana. Eesh.
And seeing they're not putting in these statistics out because people say, well, we don't care. And we don't believe it. Like I said, if you're the one who dies, it's 100%. Oh, the mysterious disease at the edge of the river in Africa.
You heard about this?
Yeah. Obviously, it hit a small area. It killed almost 100% of the children who got it. It had an extremely, like an 80% death toll among the adults. And it's pretty vicious. And they have World Health people over there looking at it. And other than trying, and see, the problem is when these things pop up in those isolated areas, if you live there, would you stay? No, they split and they go to other parts of Africa. So, yes, it's very bad. But I don't see it spreading.
Okay. Let's just see what's going on in China here, if it's going to spread. I mean, there's rarely anything you really see out of China very much, but it has been given out. Looks pretty rough. I guess folks are thinking about pandemic-wise, or just
it started really spreading when they had that holiday where they all go home at Christmas in December, and so everybody was moving all over everywhere, and that made it spread faster.
Okay, what's going on in China? This is going to get worse. What's going on in China?
Or rather, regionally, I got, no, it's not going to come here, but it's bad. And it's not a thing anybody built or made. And it's for some reason, it's going to stay out of the U. I mean, it's going to kind of pass the U.S. This is the two people outside the church that can't figure out how to get into the church. Well, we're just not in touch with their people enough to have it spread here.
I don't know why, but I get this. I get my Page of Wands, and it's a hog, a pig.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the strange feeling that it's something to do with a pig. Kind of like a swine flu or whatever you want to call it. But I get the Six of Swords with it. That's calming and okay. And then I get the government. Maybe they're taking it serious. Like maybe they actually know where this is originating, coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So it is burdensome over there. It's causing some conflicts with swords. But then I get the Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm.
that's changes, that's circle of life. And in the end, my hermit card, so it'll take a little time. King of Cups, healing and hard work with the Eight of Coins. So I think it'll die out. It doesn't feel like a pandemic kind of thing.
Well, it's a form of a virus we've been exposed to one way or another. So
King of Wands for boundaries. Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles will be staying there, staying close to home. What Jeff is saying here. Kathy D says Biden's hosting a reception for the new Dems in Congress. The man is tireless. He's working. Yeah, but he's old and there was a double. It's not him. Yeah, Jeff thinks it's not moving either. No, I don't.
Mm-mm.
A lot of these things, yeah, they will be rough, but I don't see it like a coronavirus thing.
Mm-hmm.
The group of viruses that cause vomiting and diarrhea, it spread very easily. Novovirus is the most common cause of same thing.
Well, that's the one that sweeps through daycares. And I ran a daycare when I was going to graduate school, so I could keep my kids somewhere during the day so I could study and do stuff. And man, when one of those viruses would hit, we'd have to close the place and scrub everything down because there's nothing else you can do.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that was a weird. I actually did see other people talk about this. Like storing up money and
okay. We're hitting on one of my favorite topics. Readers who say, "Oh, I'm here to make you feel happy and comfortable. I'm here to show you what the spirit tells me." And then they tell you stuff that is so fear-based and so going to trigger every little part of your body that you can't live with it. And one of the things that the elementals I've been working with have been feeding to me, and I don't like to channel, but I can tell you what they told me. It is that we are in a time when humans will fall back to their own fears and they will project them on you. And it's what they were raised with. They lived from a world of lack. And when they get to a certain point, they throw that in. And as long as you continue to throw that into your consciousness, you are helping support bringing in that vibration in through the quantums, in through the quantum theory of it's sort of the opposite of manifesting. And I don't think people ever do it to hurt us. I think that some of the readers I've seen say similar things about, well, ever since 9/11, I had women I worked with who were designers who had millions of dollars at their disposal. They all had boxes of money under their bed after 9/11 because they couldn't get to their money. I mean, they continually relive that experience and build it up in their mind. What I always call it is my mother's chicken noodle soup syndrome. I don't know how my parents were raised in the worst of the Depression, were raised very, very poor. And I remember in our basement in the house in the 60s, my mother built an area to store canned goods. You would have thought we were building it up for nuclear, and not that you would have survived a nuclear bombing in my basement, but there was all this canned food. And I remember one time when I was in college and I'd come home and my mom said, well, go down and get some more. I said, I want some chicken noodle soup. She said, oh, well, go get some from the basement, And I went down and somehow or another, my mother's obsession with having this giant, vast pantry that would put Costco to shame had shrunken to the point that she didn't have a can of chicken noodle soup. And I came upstairs and I said, it's okay. I found some tomato soup. She said, well, you can have chicken noodle soup, honey, if that's what you want. And I said, there's not any down there. You would have thought it was a national emergency. She freaked out so bad that one of the canned goods she always kept in the house wasn't in the house. And we were fortunate. I mean, we had money, so she could build up whatever reserve she wanted. And it wasn't until I got married and ran my own household that I found out everybody doesn't have 27 of every canned good in their immediate vicinity. And I realized that was her fear. And I remember the look on her face when I told her there wasn't chicken noodle soup. You would have thought I said, but the entire White Russian army's in our basement now. I mean, and unless, and I've talked to people my age that grew up with parents from the Depression, and a lot of them had that. I mean, almost all my friends had something in their basement that was some stash of food that their family had. It's like going up to the alcoholic and saying, one more beer left. Oh my God, there's a blizzard outside, but I can make it to the liquor store,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of fear-mongering stuff. Don't listen to it. Of course, it's always be prepared for a power outage, winter storm where you're stuck in 3 days or something. Yeah. Of course.
Well, I mean, there's some of that to that, but that can happen to you in Texas. And I can tell you can see it in people's faces. We call them the snowmageddons, the days before the snow. They claim, real cold is coming. Casey decided she wanted to get the kind of salami she likes. And we found that getting it from Instacart, they don't always put the right salami in. So she was going to stop at the Tom Thumb and get the salami. Yeah. Yeah, my family didn't can roast. Give it up. There were two. We didn't do that. But
my grandma and mom did. But
yeah, my mom used to make raspberry jelly. But Casey stopped. She was going to stop at the Tom Thumb and pick up. She said yesterday she drove through the parking lot. It was so full of people. She knew there was no hope of getting in that store and getting out without there being a line of 30 or 40 people. I've seen in the Park Cities, there was a Tom Thumb there, and I saw people come to blows over parking spaces before bad weather. They were going to duke it out over parking, and I'm like, what's wrong with you people? I mean, get a little bit of something and then go. Maybe I'll starve to. Maybe it's, and I do not look like a person who's spent too many days not eating every meal I could find. So you can bet that, the food's there.
Yeah.
It's your mental thought. But I wish my family had learned how to pack food. I can bake. I can do all that.
Yeah. The only thing you can't prepare for is like what happened in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Florida. When everything's washed away, what's 100,000?
Yeah, when it's gone, it's gone. I mean,
your house is gone. Everything's gone. There's nothing you can do there. Your toilet paper is mush.
Mm-hmm. There's a town in Oklahoma, and I can't remember its name, but it has literally the entire town been blown away twice. And people continue to build there. I'm like, didn't you get the hint? I mean, the first time you'd say, oh, that was bad luck. The second time, no.
Yeah. Was that in Iowa?
No, it's in Oklahoma. It's.
Well, I think it happened to Iowa too this year.
Well, there's a small town. There was a small town in central Texas, and it was one of those developer areas outside of Austin. And the tornado went through, and when they went back in to look, there was nothing left but the foundations. I mean, and in that kind of housing, guys, we have no cellars. So if they say go to the cellars when the tornadoes come, there's no cellar to go to. And it was a tragedy, and no one has ever built on that land again, which I think is smart. But I don't own the land, so.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, even when COVID hit, everyone was freaking out, going to the store, getting stuff. You didn't need to.
Oh, all the people with toilet paper?
Yeah, toilet
paper for a year. And then at the Costco, they were counting how many bags of toilet paper you had because they wouldn't let you take.
Yeah.
I never had to use coffee filters for inappropriate reasons. I had enough. Anyway.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. Want to look at January 19th and see what's going to happen?
Yeah, the big rally. Which deck wants the big rally?
Mm-hmm. One
Orange.
thing at the rally, watch the people trying to not stand behind him or downwind from him.
Rose Blue went to find a 6-pack of toilet paper. You're going for the wrong 6-pack, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, January 9th, the rally. What's going on with that rally?
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
What's going on with the January 19th rally? Pretty ridiculous because he's the next day supposedly supposed to have a big inauguration party, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be there. I tell you what I got. The Ten of Cups reversed.
Ouch.
The Ace of Wands reversed.
Ouch.
The Ten of Pentacles reversed. And then the Page of Cups is sitting there watching the little fishies swim around in the goldfish bowl. So they're going nowhere. And the out card is the Eight of Wands. And in this deck, it's really interesting. It's cats, and it's almost like cats in an interrogation room in a police department drawing pictures. This is the weirdest reading I've had in a long time. But I really like, we got you, guy. You're in the fishbowl. You're going nowhere. And all the rest of it is, when you have you have 2 tens, like the 10 of Cups and the 10 of, it's not going to happen. Or if it happens, it's going to be teeny tiny and nobody's going to care.
Strength.
His true believers will care.
It kind of, I'm getting the Lion King feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like he stands up.
Holds up the, whoa, yeah.
Because I get, in this deck, I get the strength card here. And it's on a lion and there's someone pointing up. It just feels like a rally. He wants to show his prowess.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel like it's going to be well received with the Eight of Cups. Okay, then I get the Hierophant.
Mm-hmm.
That's government structures. 3 of Pentacles. They're working on it. 6 of Swords. What does that mean?
6 of Swords?
Yeah.
Going to a new place.
Right. I mean,
maybe something's going to happen and it's going to be moved.
And that's 2 cards of moving away. Currently, 8 of Cups and the 6 of Swords in the next 3. These are moving on or walking away from the situation. Moving forward with this, 2 of Pentacles.
Mm-hmm.
That's juggling things. Juggling finances, or locations. Mm-hmm. The Hermit. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Death card. And the 2 of Cups. The Death card's an ending. If they're planning this, it's going to end.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 of Cups. Some kind of partnership is going to end with this. You got 2 twos, so they're trying to work on something. Either bring in funding or bring in some kind of a relationship partner with some other entity, but it's going to end. My outcome for the rally: 7 of Swords, pack of lies, deceit. 5 of Cups, loss.
Mm-hmm.
8 of Swords, truth coming in, and 10 of Swords, the burdens. This is showing it's not going to happen.
I tell you, the 10 of Cups reversed and the 10 of Coins reversed doesn't speak highly of it happening. That's what I had. So let's see what I mean.
Either there's not a great response,
And I have it's the magician who's ever really running the show saying no, and it's got the sun in the bottom of the deck when I read that it wasn't going to happen. So the magician and the sun is pretty powerful when you put it up against cards that are saying no.
Yeah, it might be looking at a different location, or it doesn't happen. It's weird energy, weird function. It feels like another grifter session, but I don't know. This is very bad energy of 5 of Cups, same card I was pulled in the guest psychic on a Fox show. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I have that. I have that video of that woman reading. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, this just doesn't. Nothing feels smooth. It's like the planning gets evaded.
Well, why should it feel smooth when nothing feels smooth? I mean, don't you sort of wake up every day feeling like I have to work on what I'm doing is I don't watch the news. So if you ask me a question, you're getting the best answer you're going to get straight from the cards. What I watch is a lot of British antique shows. And I found 27 seasons on Prime, and I'm only into episode 6 and season 2.
And obviously what's going on in Africa. You knew that.
I had it's the weirdest thing. I'll open up my phone and I'll see a little headline and I'll read it, and then I find out, and it's like I always get the headline that was like written by the AMA with all of the stats and everything. So
hi Amy, how you doing?
Oh, Kathy D just put that when her mother passed, they found several $1,000s in her bottom drawer. She would cash her Social Security checks and put them in the drawer for a rainy day. May I say my children will never have that problem. Mine's gone as soon as I get it. I know where it's going. So
Wendy was saying here, someone was thinking that the feds were keeping an eye on foreign money coming into, well, they better. It happened big time the last time.
Yeah.
You had to pay $780,000 fine for all the grifting on the, and what was his name? He got off, but one of his buddies bringing in Egypt's money.
Yes.
I can't remember his name right now.
Well,
Barak.
yeah.
Brett Barak. Tom Barak. Yeah. You end up getting off on a technicality.
I'm not, listen, guys, if you want to stash money, I'm watching in the chat. If you want to stash money in your back drawer, fine, do it. If that makes you feel happy and it makes you feel calm, all I want you to do is go inside yourself, shield your heart, and don't tie on to the bad things. Like somebody's going to take that. I mean, the bad thing would be to put that money aside and then have the terror that someone's going to come take it. Put it aside. Yeah, it's bad out there, guys. And I pity for people in blizzards because it's not what I do. Scott lives where blizzards are a feature, not a bug.
It's been pretty calm this year.
Yeah.
Many places, actually.
It's bad in Indiana right now.
We had 1 or 2 so far, and they weren't that bad. I don't know. There's nothing going to be going on with Judge Merchan. No.
They're going to go in the 10th and they're going to do what they do.
No.
Or they're not going to go in on the 10th and they're not going to do what they do. But we can't. All you need to do is to keep yourself on the straight and narrow and you don't need to worry about it. I'm pissing people off. They're saying things in the chat like, it's not going to be peaceful.
I'm writing something quick to put in. Let's look at this.
Oh yeah, we didn't think about that. Let's
January 10th, Judge Mershon. Let's see what he does.
see. I'm not going to use one of my silly decks because it's Judge Mershon. I think he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. But yeah, unfortunately, because of such circumstances, he's supposedly not going to sentence him to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why
But
he doesn't.
it ties the money part of it down, doesn't it?
Should fine him $200,000 for hurting the American public and death threats to him and his family and all the crap. So sad to let this go. Everything go. What's going to happen with the January 6th?
Wow. Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead. I like when you say wow.
I got Knight of Swords and the Six of Swords. It's going to move people's opinions, Tim. It really is going to make a difference because then he has been sentenced. And I see the King of Cups, which I take it as Marchand sitting there in the middle. And then the outcome is the Page of Swords reversed. His lawyers can't do anything about it. And it's going to piss Trump off because it's going to show he was really powerless in the end. Because that's been his big thing with his, they couldn't get me on anything.
Well, you know, he's still going to be a criminal, whether he does time or not. Okay. Now, Four of Cups is taking your time, thoughts, Ace of Wands, the new beginnings, Page of Wands. That's just what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Taking your time, talking about it. Da, da, da. In the current energy, I get the Ten of Swords, ending of a situation,
Mm-hmm.
tough times, being stabbed, the Lovers, and Three of Wands. Seeking assistance from afar,
Mm-hmm.
partnerships. I think he's making some, I think he's talked to other judges about what kind of sentences should be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the Lovers there, I think he's coordinating, trying to get a sense of what should be done here. Ten of Swords feels like he's stabbed in the back.
Yep.
And the sentencing and everything. Because that's like the current energy. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes I love the touch screens or whatnot, touch pads, but you hit something, it just moves everything. I accidentally touched. Okay. Moving forward here. Ace of Cups. Security, the helping hand, the love, abundance, overflow, and a Tower. Something happens quickly, something crumbles, and then the Sun. Wow. Something gets laid out big time, and 45 is not happy about this.
I know.
I mean, I don't think this is going gently into a good night. This feels pretty explosive here.
Mm-hmm.
Three of Swords. 45 is brokenhearted. Seven of Swords, I think, is lies and deceits are all blown out the water here. It's going to be exposed. I don't think this is just going away. Then I have a celebration, and then Nine of Wands. That's kind of being undecided. Standing your ground, defending oneself. Try to look at things more clearly.
I'm going to ask if will he be sentenced that day?
Strange.
Does he have to be there to be sentenced?
No, he said he can do it virtually.
Okay. Then he's got no excuse. So will the sentence come down then?
Brokenhearted and deception. And then there's a celebration. And then there's defense. Something isn't as plate as it seems.
Yeah, oh man, it's really making him nuts. He's got the 9 of Swords. It's keeping him up at night. I said, will he get sentenced? And there's no way out of it. He can't stop the Chariot from moving forward. He's calling on all of his lower instincts on ways to stop it. But I see the end card is it's going to happen. So he's going to get sentenced that day.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be happy about it. But it feels more. I mean, I get the 2 worst cards in the deck in the reading with the Tower and the 10 of Swords, and then you get the 3 of Swords with it.
Could it push him into the heart attack? Everybody keeps saying
that's just not feeling sad.
That's like feeling dead.
If I got the 5 of Cups
that's sad.
With it, I think I would have seen it would have been a heart attack. I just think his morale's crushed, and
yeah. I mean, but what's it mean for our country that we have a president that some countries can't let in because he's a convicted felon?
True. I didn't get the 8 of Swords, so there's no prison sentence, unfortunately.
No.
Okay, we looked at that. I think so, Zane. At least it should be.
I think
he'd have to do an executive order to say this president can go where he needs to go to do his duties.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter died because he was 100 years old. And he hung on as long as he could. I'm going to have an astrologer on my show on Tuesday, and one of the things she's going to look at is his chart on that day to see if his chart on the day he died.
Okay.
Because he's been dying forever.
I know, yeah, he was old, right? But let's see if there was any karmic timing. I'm just going to randomly cut the cards and see if there's a message or a meaning.
I got the Ace of Swords. It was just time for the new beginning to go on without him. That's a nasty Ace of Swords.
Pretty much. 10 of Cups. Time for him to go home. Ace of Coins. He's done plenty in his life. There's prosperity, security, and 2 of Coins. That feels like saying it's time to transition. To me, you have your juggling of in and out of life.
Yeah.
It feels like it's time to
go. According to people who are, well, I know it's true because I was by my husband's deathbed at the very end, and they go back and forth between the 2 veils.
So with 3 cards, I didn't get a sense of karmic timing. It is helpful to be the flags will be half staff and everything.
My guides just said, will J.D. Vance be at the inauguration? That's their question. That's Addie's question for the day.
Okay.
I could type it in if you want to be really particular, but.
Will J.D. Vance.
Oh,
that could get interesting answer on things too. Well, J.D. Vance. He's been pretty absent now.
I can't wait to show you my cards. They're so much fun. This will make people never watch our show again, or they'll watch it forever, Scott. I mean,
The Justice card flew out. You can go ahead. I'm dropping down now.
I got the Ace of Wands in the position of no, 10 of Pentacles in the position of no, Knight of Wands in the position of no. The King of Wands has swooped in and changed everything, and it's because the devil isn't working. I got 5 no's.
And justice came down. And we read a lot about justices today. Justice happening, justice working.
And what we have to let it be is the universal justice. We can't pick out who's going to end up chained to what.
Let's hope this happens.
What'd you get?
45 locked up and heartbroken.
Good. Maybe he'll attack the judge.
King of coins.
Oops, there he goes. Yeah.
And you can see it. There it is. Locked up. And this is my heartbreak and destruction and brag karma card. Strange. And then, like I said, justice flopped out. And I got prosperity, things are getting better with the Six of Swords, and then Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, the awakening, the victory. In the end, I have 9 of coins, that balance of structure to me. 5 of Swords having to do with the conflicts, the betrayal. And then Miss Lawyer coming in, the Queen of Swords. We know Kamala's a lawyer.
Yeah, I know.
She's a Queen of Swords. I don't know. JD looks pretty absent. JD looks pretty absent, especially
maybe Alon will show up with a JD Vance mask.
Especially these 3 together. This kind of looks like he gets sick and is locked up in a facility or something.
Yeah, we're really close, Scott. I have my one ear that works 100%. It's ringing so loud it hurts.
There's your sign.
Okay, take it away, guys. I got the message. Please.
Yeah, I know. When that happens to me too, I'm like, okay, that's enough.
I did have a client who's also a reader who sent me some information, and I'm not going to give it out because I'm not a medical doctor, and you're just going to have to go look it up on your own. But she got me in touch with a homeopathic cure for being out of balance, because my balance has been so screwed up after my couple falls. And take this stuff in the morning, take it at night. I feel like I'm back on both legs again. So.
The GOP president would be Johnson and the holding pattern.
That would be the next succession if it happened. It would go to the Speaker of the House.
That's only when a president and vice president are there.
Can't serve. That all came.
This would be after Trump and even now. I mean, right. Joe is currently the president.
Right. And I'm not saying anything about Kamala or anything else, but the pattern would be if for some reason Trump couldn't go forward, and it's not just that I think Vance couldn't go forward. I think he shouldn't go forward. The guy's a jerk. But, right. And even Alon doesn't like him. So we know. I mean, you got to be really universally hated if Alon doesn't like you and I don't like you. But if those two are out of the way, then it falls to whoever is Speaker of the House. And then after that,
only if they're
can't serve.
It doesn't work with the president-elect.
No.
It only works with the current president.
But
so 45, I looked it up in the 25th Amendment.
Right.
It's in there. And it only works for currently up to the 20th. Joe Biden's still the president. He ain't going anywhere. Johnson would not get in.
No.
So if there's a holding pattern or something afterwards, 45 is not inaugurated as president.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Joe Biden is still the president. Johnson would never ascend unless the president and vice president are incapacitated or
Mm-hmm.
dead.
Well, that's where I'm.
There is no scenario Johnson would be president.
No, not
unless the top two are dead.
Biden and Kamala are gone.
Right. So this is not even a scenario. This is only if the president and vice president are gone or both having surgery at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, because I already looked that up about president-elect and that.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious about this scenario too before. And this is not even a scenario that can happen. So if some reason 45 is not, let's say he croaks before the day,
mm-hmm.
there's a whole new scenario that has to happen.
But then we're stuck with JD Vance because he steps in.
Technically, no.
Oh, really? Oh. Well, let's get more twisty. I don't know.
There's I was Googling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Brookings Institute looked at all the scenarios up into it started when 45 announced. And they started looking at it just because we have two older gentlemen. So what if one dies, or in this scenario? Well, then this, that, and the other thing. And they looked at if 45 dies from November up into the 14th, and electors come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different scenario. And then from December 14th up until January 20th, there's a whole nother scenario. So we're in this scenario now. And basically the House has to choose who the president is. JD doesn't automatically advance. He wasn't elected to be president. And he is not, and 45 is not inaugurated as president. So there is no president. So the House would have to convene to choose a president if 45 would die right now. That's the way it's put out in the 25th Amendment.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue with you. And I think what you say makes as much sense as any other scenario we can come up with. But I just think all I can tell you guys is wake up every morning and say, what's happening now? You got no other
crazy. So let's say 45 gets really sick. He's in the hospital, incapacitated, and in a coma. Right?
Yeah.
JD Vance is not automatically going to be president because he didn't run as president.
Mm-hmm.
So then they would go back to the House and they would have to discuss and decide who's going to be president. It could even be Kamala Harris. If 45 is incapacitated and cannot serve.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's very strange. But it is in the Constitution how to decide this. It's strange.
Tro asked backwards, just put that it could be MTG. Now, I want you to know you have just decreased the entire mental capacity of our country by at least 30 points by even saying that.
Okay. But anyway, it's already at 1:30 or so. So let's get some inspiration.
Oh, yeah. I've got a new inspiration deck. It's cool.
I'm going to use my ET deck since we got all kinds of
orbs. Since your guys are out there doing their thing.
But anyway, if anyone's more interested, just Google the Brookings Institute, and
they're a good group. They do their homework.
Well, maybe it's in my history. Maybe I could post it. The information I found. Because I was just looking at it the other day.
Scott, your life's worse than mine. I'm just watching antique shows that are 14 years old. You're like, so arcane.
History. It depends if I can find it quick. Oh, Brookings. I see there's a search.
I have a friend who works at Brookings. That is
Here it is.
What?
I looked at it January 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Copy. I don't know if that's going to work well in the StreamYard, but
it won't come in the chat because it only lets you have so many words.
Well, we'll see. I put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, it highlighted on my phone.
So you put it in the chat?
But anyway, it's Brookings Institute. What happens if a presidential candidate cannot take office due to death or incapacitation before inauguration?
Yeah, it's here. Yay, Scott.
So anyway, that's where I got a lot of my information. And then you can, when they talk about stuff, then you can go to which article and read that.
And I can tell you guys, their research people are really good. It's not just because I know a guy who works there. He worked in the Democratic Party, and he and I didn't always agree on things, but he was very, very smart. But he didn't like running into me very often. So can't imagine why.
Okay. So my 3 cards from my ET deck is: you have the power within you. You're the master of all your destinies. Ask the universe for help. Then I get, it's time to transition. Don't hold yourself back. And then this is kind of like the Oracle Tower.
Mm-hmm.
When unexpected changes happen, go with the flow. Mm-hmm. So 1, we have no control of what happens with this election. Finishing it up, whether 45 gets inaugurated or something disastrous happens, we always have to go with the flow and control ourselves.
Scott, what's more disastrous than him being inaugurated?
That is disastrous.
Yeah. Okay.
It is an ET tower.
But you pulled something that's very close to mine. I have a new deck of cards, and they're shamanic crystal cards, and it's Herkimer, which is it's the clearest kind of quartz you can find, and it gets its name from Herkimer, New York, where it was found, but you can find it in other places. Welcome to your soul. I am the spirit of the very special shining crystal Herkimer. Within me lies the ancient memories, where trees are sacred, waters are blessed, and the diva, the nature spirits, are light workers. I am the fruit of the act of love between Father Sky and Mother Earth, which took place at the beginning of time and when their union was born. It says, you are a precious soul with the gift of connecting with those subtle energies. Your task is to teach others about these, which will be easier if your connection is strong to Mother Earth. Work on your personal ego so that it does not affect the message you will be bringing to people. Regardless of your current or future practices, my crystalline grid is strong and always expanding. I can't tell you, when you hold one of these in your hands, you can feel the sucker pulse. It folds into your soul the full memories of you've been waiting to have remembered. Now is the time to remember. So I think what it's telling us is now is the time for us to remember unity and getting along, and to not think our ego can make it work out. And don't play on your fears. When you start feeling someone talking to you or something showing up and it's pushing you to fear, go find something you really don't want to be afraid of. Something that just soothes your soul and says, this was a calmer time. This was a calmer place. And
yeah, I mean, even if the disastrous happens, I don't feel fear of what's next.
No.
I don't think we should have to worry about, pulling out money, or it feels like in a way the institutions will hold enough even if the disastrous happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
do your thing.
yeah, do your thing.
Do your thing and do your thing and do things that are positive for you.
Yeah, keep doing the work to raise our vibrations.
That's right.
No fear.
That's
So
right.
Thanks for everyone coming tonight.
Thanks. And next week we will be at 10 in the morning.
I'm pretty positive we're going to be back to normal scheduled timing.
Okay. And if Scott, I posted always the day before on my channel where we're going to be and what the time is and all that good stuff. So, and it ought to be an interesting Sunday to talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we can hear all everybody's horror stories of Snowmageddon 2025.
All right. Have a blessed one. Thank you.
Here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.